Proposal design elaboration of learning objects. General data. Students are from second semester of high school Cebetis 214 in the technical major of construction. The students have English 2 classes with an A1 level, but they must reach A2 level. The skills that we want to work with are listening and speaking. Describing the situation. As it mentioned before, the students are supposed to have an A2 English level because they're second semester. The students of the second semester have difficulties with their listening comprehension because they do not practice this skill as part of their school schedule. Another problem is that the school has a lack of studying spaces for students, making it harder to learn the language. They also have a positive feeling towards the subject, making them being participative in class. They seem to get along well with their classmates, which helps the students in the learning process. We want to take this as an advantage to make the students work in groups and to learn together. Description of the activities. In the first place, we have a memory game. We will use it as a complementary learning object. This activity is part of the class and is a tool that the teacher uses to help students to have an idea of the vocabulary that we will use for the other activities. The type of learning object is gamification, which Bern has contributed a good starting point showing on elementary functions of games for teaching foreign language. As he said, the gaming are meant to be joy. They must also contribute to a language proficiency in some way by getting the learners to use the language in the course of the game. The memory game was created by using JClick. This is a virtual environment for creation, realization, and evaluation of multimedia educational objectives. Activities developed in the Java programming language. Therefore, the memory game as a visual media that will be included in our PLE, the clan of Supreme Builders that is able on Facebook. Here's an example of how the group looked like. You can find it in the very first activity. Remember that after you did this activity, you need to write a comment below. This is another example of how it looks like. In this image, we can see all the vocabulary that is involved there. Following the first activity, we have a quiz. We use a complementary learning object. This activity is part of the class and it is a tool that the teacher will use to verify if the student understood the content after watching a video. The type of learning object is practice exercise. Therefore, quizzes positively affect on effectiveness and attractiveness. This activity was created on Facebook, which is a multimedia resource that allowed us to make short posts in their toolbox. Of course, we transformed this space to create a quiz with only one right answer. We based the answers from a video that presents the different expressions or vocabulary that we want the students to develop the most. As you can see, each question has 3 different options. The best thing is after you do all the questions, you have feedback with the percent that you got. And not only that, you can have all feedback. What this means is that it gives you some characteristics for you to remember the content on the video. For the last activity, we have a demonstrative video. We use a complemental learning object. This activity was created with the purpose of guiding students with their final project. The video illustrates with examples how the student should create their sentence and what structure should they use. The type of learning object is tutorial. As a tutorial video, it is used as a means of communication which keeps the individual informed, updated, and documenting. This activity was created using a video editor called Filmora. It is simple editing software. We use this visual medium because we know that some student needs to see how the activity will develop, and the video tutorial it is perfect tool to explain them. As we can see on the video, we have 3 different images for students to choose and create their own sentence. Now, license. Copyleft is a general method to modify and extend the versions of programs to be free as well. After this, you can make changes, any or few, and distribute the results as a proprietary product. An important part on making OVAs is to look for a license as copyleft that allows us to share our content. In other way, to permit someone else with educational purposes use our content. This was one of the main reasons why we choose it. When we create this content for students, we try to include aspects from the instructional design Azure that we consider important and appropriate for the second semester students we are working with. Thus, we consider the limitations they have when it comes to technology or student places. So we create something by using a daily life app. After all the aspects that we mentioned and include in the making of our personal learning environment, we hope we have done a good job. So thank you.